All right, everyone, welcome into another episode of the Queen City Soccer Show. On today's episode, I am thrilled to be joined by Greenville Triumph defender and head coach and son of head coach Dean Smith for Charlotte FC, Jamie Smith. Jamie, how you doing, man?
I'm good, mate. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Good to be here.
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, the Triumph sitting top of the table right now, coming off two big wins in the Open Cup and the league. We're talking to a player who's on the team of the match week for the USL League One. How's it going so far with the Triumph this season, man?
Yeah, it's been, like I said, it's been really positive so far. We've had a really good start to the season. Um, we had a lot of changes over the off season with players coming in, obviously a new coaching staff taking the reins, and but like I said, Rick's come in. Brought in his own staff, with Mark and Julie working with us, and obviously Ryan and Rachel and whatnot, coming in and helping us, building a really good atmosphere and a bit of a changing culture, which has ultimately, made the atmosphere really positive. And bringing in some good players has allowed us to, play a little bit more, get a little bit more freedom to play. I think that's helped us as well. And like you say, we've started the season really well. Started out with a good win at home against Spokane, which was important for us. We wanted to win the first game in front of our fans. And like I said, we've just built momentum from there. And, players are playing with a lot of confidence right now. And we're scoring goals and not letting not letting in many at the other end. So, happy days so far and long may that continue.
Yeah, absolutely. This past weekend was Star Wars night for the Triumph. They got another huge win. My son was in attendance. He told me after the game he plays for Easley Soccer Club over here in Easley, and he said I got to shake Jamie Smith's hand. I got to shake Jamie Smith's hand. So I appreciate you doing that, man. It made his night. You are obviously his favorite player. He's a big Charlotte FC supporter as well, so that makes sense. So yeah, coming off of the big win, you going to play Charlotte Independence this Friday. We this My other co-host on this podcast is a Charlotte Independence fan, and so we have like a little back and forth going on. But so how are y'all feeling going up to Charlotte? I know they're selling like $1 tickets or something like that, trying to get the stadium as packed as they possibly can. So how are y'all feeling going into that match?
Yeah, really positive again. Like you said, the results that we picked up allows us to be confident going into this game, but we won't discredit Charlotte in any way. They picked up a few results recently. They're always a really good side to play against. Obviously they beat us in the playoffs last year to knock us out. And we've always had close games with them, whether it be at our place or theirs. It's a big pitch there. Like you said, the attendances aren't always big there, but with what they're bringing in this weekend, there might be a few more there to provide a good atmosphere. They've got some good players. Mike Jeffries has done a good job there with them, and they've kept most of their squad from last year. Added a few here and there, but like I said, they'll be really strong. But first and foremost, we focus on ourselves always, and we've been working hard this week. We've had a lot of games recently, so we haven't been able to work too much in training. But the few days that we've been able to work this week has been really positive. We've been watching video, been working on a few things to still improve because even though we've been getting the results, we still see room for improvement. We want to get better as a team. We have a lot of players that want to improve as players on and off the field. And by using that time to go over video to work on it in training, it'll only make us better. So yeah, we're looking forward to Friday night. It'll be a difficult game, but hopefully we can get a good result and a good performance.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to touch on one thing. Y'all's last Open Cup match was a wild match up in Knoxville that you came out, and there's a picture that surfaced of you kind of doing to the crowd. Were emotions getting a little high out there?
Yeah, I think I've done it the week before at Lexington. Is that the one you're on about?
Oh yeah, Lexington,
Was it
Lexington. Yeah,
Lexington? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so the year before, I actually scored my first professional goal in like the 97th or 98th minute, something ridiculous like that. And their fans were giving it a little bit all game. So just
Yeah.
as a little bit of friendly banter, I decided to cup the ears. Um, And a few people reminded me of it before the game, going into the game against Lexington a few weeks ago, and I decided to do it again when we scored right at the death again. So yeah, it was just a little bit of light-hearted banter, I'd say. But Gio Canas, you probably know him,
Yeah.
one of our fans, and he works at the club now. But he wants to do it with me at one of the games. He says he keeps bringing it up on Twitter and all the socials, so I keep getting reminded of it, especially when we come and play Lexington.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Coming up in the Open Cup, y'all travel to Louisville, go play Louisville City, and they're good USL championship side, good side. They do have a really good atmosphere for a USL, for their USL side. So, what are y'all looking forward to going into that? Obviously, you have a league game before, but to continue this run on in the Cup, anything specific that y'all are looking at as far as Louisville City, or y'all just taking it one game at a time?
Yeah, I think all we can do is take it one game at a time at the moment. Like you said, the games are coming thick and fast, but we've just got to focus on the next one, and obviously that's Charlotte. But when the draw came out and said that we were going to Louisville, we've seen how prestigious a club Louisville is in the championship. They're a really good side. They're always at the top end of the league. So once we saw that that game was possible for us, it's obviously going to be a great opportunity for a lot of us to go there and test ourselves against one of the best teams in the championship. So
Yep.
we've played against teams in this competition before in the championship a few years back before we hosted Charlotte in the third round, I believe.
Yep.
We beat a championship team in the second round at home. So like I said, the last game against Knoxville, we had opportunity to rotate players because there's so many games coming up thick and fast. Gave a few guys some more minutes here and there who did really well. And whether we do that in the next round or not, who knows? Because we play obviously Charlotte on Friday, Charlotte Independence rather on Friday. I can't get that mixed up these
Yeah.
days. And then we travel to Louisville and play them on Tuesday. Before we play Tormentor on Sunday, I believe. So
Yep.
you know, it will be a really good test for us to go and play a championship team who are at the top end of that league. And I think some of the guys are really looking forward to it. But we'll have to try and get a result against Charlotte Independence first.
Yeah. And so transitioning off of that, obviously you're the son of Charlotte FC head coach Dean Smith. I've actually got to be at Tetrad with you a couple of times and watch some Charlotte FC matches. What's it like having your dad this close to you? I know, coming from England, obviously you played at NC State as well, so he's familiar with the Carolinas. What does it mean for you to have your dad so close to home?
Yeah, it's honestly really cool and really special. You know, was it 7 years ago when I made the decision to come over to the US? It was a big decision to leave my family back in England. So coming over here now, experiencing that for the last 7 years, obviously having family come over on holiday to experience it a little bit as well, and show them the Carolinas, has been pretty cool. And obviously now for him to be living only an hour 30 minutes away from me is pretty special. I've spoke about this before to other people about people always ask me, "Oh, how was it? Your dad being coach in England in the Premier League and stuff." And it was really cool. Of course, don't get me wrong, especially at Villa when that's our
Yeah.
club and stuff like that. But I was always living over here doing my thing, so I never really got to experience it as such until I went home. And even when I did go home, it was only for a couple of weeks at a time, more like a holiday to England,
Yeah.
So to experience that, here in the flesh now and being able to go to a lot more games and maybe I was in England is pretty cool. And like I said, to have the family over here now, being very close to me, my mum was able to come to my game, the Star Wars night the other night while my dad played in New England. So just to have them close to home is a lot more comfortable for me now. Not having to do that long distance as such is makes me feel a lot more at home in the US. And like I said, I got them over here eventually, so
Yeah. Yeah. We appreciate it.
pretty happy.
Yeah, we appreciate it. As a Charlotte FC podcast and media that covers Charlotte FC full time, we thank you because we are very, very thrilled to have Dino. We adore him. We adore having a manager who's willing to speak his mind, and I'm sure obviously you know that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, man. Like I said, I've been a Triumph fan for since they came into existence. I grew up in Greenville, South Carolina. I was there when they were playing at Legacy. I was there for the Charlotte FC match you mentioned earlier in the Open Cup game. I was there for that, and it's awesome to see. It's awesome to have all these ties coming in together. Obviously, when you playing at NC State and playing at Limestone, um, how did you? I mean, obviously you've been over here for years now, but how do the Carolinas kind of compare? I mean, do you feel like this is your home now?
Honestly, probably, yeah.
Yeah,
Like I said, when I go home now, it's not for too long at all. So I always say to people, when I go home now, I only go home for a couple of weeks at a time, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but you can get a little bit bored because all your friends back home that I made in high school are still really close best friends of mine. They're all doing they're working, they're doing the normal jobs, and when I get a chance to go home in the off season, it's difficult. You find yourself just sitting around a lot, or obviously going to see my family and stuff like that is a little bit different, but. I come back here, I have my routine. Like I said, I've built my life over here in the past 7 years. Going through college, getting a degree, and then finally being able to play professional soccer over here was obviously what I wanted to achieve when I initially came here. So, to be in and around the Carolinas, whether it be at Limestone, NC State, playing summer leagues in Asheville to eventually come into Greenville, and obviously now being able to go to Charlotte FC games, seeing the Carolinas, all over the Carolinas, being able to
yeah.
go everywhere. I feel like I've experienced a lot of it, but yeah, the Carolinas is definitely home for me now, and definitely my family as well. So it's an exciting time to be here. It's an exciting time to be in Charlotte as well. And I'm just really grateful that my family are able to come over here and join this experience with me now.
Cool, cool. One more question before I get you out of here, man. Just something a little silly that my son wanted me to ask you. So, who is your favorite player growing up? A, and then B, what's your favorite restaurant in Greenville to eat at?
Okay. There's a lot of restaurants. Favorite player growing up, honestly, I'll go for a defender because you have to.
Naturally.
But I remember John Terry. I think he
Yeah.
was England's best centre back at the time. Just growing up watching him be not only a leader but playing the game like it was
Mhm.
so easy
Yeah.
at the back, like a Rolls Royce at times. And I think just watching him be captain for Chelsea for so long, playing until he was like, nearly
Yeah.
40 or whatever it was, and still being able to do that at such a older age in soccer years, of course,
Yeah, for sure.
was pretty cool. So obviously when him and I don't know if you knew that, but him and my dad worked at Villa. He was
Okay.
assistant coach at Villa, so I got to meet him a few times and try and try and pick his brains a little bit here and there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
but he was always such a good player to watch, and I really enjoyed learning off that, and obviously being able to try and pick his brains a little bit after that was pretty awesome as well.
Yeah, John
So
Terry's a good shout, man. I'm a Spurs fan, so he going up against him over the years
terrorized
was
you a
was
few
tough. Yes.
times. That's for sure. I was actually at the game, I believe, when they played Tottenham. It might have been, I can't remember, it was called the Capital One Cup at that point or the Carling Cup, and he scored, I think, in the final in that game
Yeah.
against Tottenham. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that was pretty cool. And restaurants in Greenville. Oh, there's a few. I've been to. I really like the Belgian restaurant Trapdoor.
hmm
I think that's
Right beside Charleston Sports Pub.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to Gianna's a few times now, the Italian spot. That's a really good one. And then the Hall's Chop House is always a favorite of mine because I believe it's Hall's Chop House.
Yeah. Hall
Correct me
Shop
if I'm
House, the
wrong.
steakhouse. Yep.
But yeah, I actually went with my family a few weeks ago. So I'm a sucker for some good steak sometimes. So and the luxury when I get a chance to have my family in town, we always
Yeah.
try and go there. So
Yeah. That's
that's
absolute
probably one
luxury.
for me. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, you don't go there too much because sometimes the spending gets a little bit a little bit
For
hefty.
sure.
But
For sure.
those would be my top three for sure.
I got you. All right. Well, Jamie, man, I appreciate you coming on the show. Obviously, we're going to be following the Triumph all season long. So good luck to you. Good luck to the Triumph. Obviously, we're hoping you win the cup. We're hoping you win the league. So yeah, I appreciate
Yeah,
you coming on and have a good day. Okay, man.
I appreciate it, mate. Thank you for having me. Take care.
Yeah, absolutely.